Have you ever wondered who actually keeps our money valuable, our banks safe, and our tap and pay transactions moving at literal lightning speed? I mean, what's really happening behind the scenes to keep the entire economy from just exploding? Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Host A, and today we're popping the hood to look inside the ultimate financial engine.
And I'm Host B. All right, let's just dive right into it. We see this seal literally everywhere, right? It's on every peso bill, every coin, jingling in our pockets. But what is the actual day-to-day purpose of the Bangko Sentral na Pilipinas, or the BSP? Well, to really get it, we've got to look back at its history. Back in 1948, under the old Central Bank Act, the bank was super involved in development financing. Picture a basketball game where the central bank was trying to be both the referee and the team's coach. Yeah, it got pretty complicated. But then, under the New Republic Act No. 7653 in 1993, the modern BSP was born. It gained full fiscal and administrative autonomy from the government. Essentially, it became the ultimate, independent referee. It doesn't play the game anymore. It strictly ensures fair play, protects the players, and keeps the score perfectly stable.
Exactly. And that independence is absolutely crucial. Today, we're actually going to walk you through the core curriculum of the Fundamentals of Central Banking course to completely decode the overarching purpose of this massive institution. So the BSP operates on three absolute pillars of governance. First up, independence, meaning they operate completely free from political interference. Second is accountability, because they are legally responsible for all their decisions. And third is transparency, which is all about publicizing the clear, real reasons behind their policy actions.
All right, moving on to Section 1, the three core pillars. Let's decode the central bank's mission. So while the BSP is uniquely ours here in the Philippines, its foundational structure is actually shared by central banks all across the globe. They all basically speak the exact same fundamental language of economics. Straight from the course objectives, here are the three distinct pillars of central banking. Number 1, monetary policy, which is all about keeping prices stable. Number 2, financial stability, which basically means supervising the banks. And number 3, payment systems, which ensures that money moves safely and reliably. These are the essential tools used every single day to just keep the economy running smoothly. Right. And to truly understand how the BSP tackles this massive directive, we aren't just going to look at the Philippines. We're actually going to look at how different global banks tackle these exact same three pillars. Because by seeing how the rest of the world plays the game, the BSP's role becomes incredibly clear. So let's start with the most famous pillar of them all. Pillar 1, monetary policy. This is all about controlling the money volume. And this one is essentially the ultimate balancing act. You know, the famous economist Alan Blinder once said that prices are stable when ordinary people just stop talking about inflation? Okay, let me put my money nerd hat on for a second to explain how they actually pull this off. Imagine a university campus, right? There are 100 students, but there are only 10 cups of this premium boba milk tea available for 100 pesos each. Suddenly, the central bank accidentally doubles the money supply and hands every single student extra cash. Naturally, all 100 students run to buy those exact same 10 cups of milk tea. The seller sees this crazy demand and boom, immediately jacks up the price to 200 pesos. That is inflation in a nutshell. By acting as the money manager, the central bank prevents too much money from chasing too few goods. That's a great way to picture it, and it brilliantly illustrates how global this mandate really is. Different nations word this exact same goal just slightly differently. Like, Bank Indonesia targets the direct stability of the rupiah. The Bank of Korea explicitly states they pursue price stability. And the Banco Sentral de la República Argentina focuses on regulating the sheer amount of money and credit. So different countries, different currencies, but the exact same mission. I absolutely love this quote from the Bank of Japan, which is mandated to control the volume of money in the economy. It just paints the perfect picture. Central banks are essentially the crucial traffic cops for the volume of cash in society. If they let too many cars on the highway, well, you get a massive traffic jam of inflation. But if there are too few, the whole economy just stalls out completely. Moving right along to Pillar 2, financial stability, preventing financial risks. So if Pillar 1 is all about the value of your money, Pillar 2 ensures the actual place you store your money doesn't, burn down. Notice the contrast in focus globally here? The People's Bank of China heavily focuses on the macro level, preventing and resolving massive, overarching financial risks that could literally threaten their entire system. But then on the right, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority takes a much more micro approach. They explicitly target the safety of everyday deposit-taking businesses. They're looking out for the actual physical business of you handing your hard-earned money over to a bank teller
Right, so this pillar is what ensures your local bank won't just collapse overnight. The central bank actively supervises both banks and non-bank financial institutions to keep the entire financial ecosystem secure from any sort of contagion. And as the banker's bank, the BSP can actually step in and act as a lender of last resort to prevent a systemic crash. But their stability net goes even wider than that. They also serve as the main bank of the government for tax collections, and they act as the official keeper of the country's foreign reserves.
All right, on to Pillar 3, payment systems, the invisible highways of cash. This is the invisible technological infrastructure we literally rely on every single day. Think about your morning routine. You buy a coffee using Bank A's debit card at a shop that uses Bank B's terminal. You swipe, and you walk away with your coffee in 3 seconds flat. The central bank is the one operating that background highway, making that instant transfer possible, totally securely, without any fraud or weird delays. Interestingly, both the Reserve Bank of Australia and the Bank of Japan shared this exact same secondary role of promoting highly efficient and reliable settlement arrangements. For sure, and this mandate from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority really drives it home, maintaining the integrity of these invisible financial highways. But hey, speaking of the integrity of money, while they manage all those digital highways, the BSP is also the exclusive supplier of physical money. Yeah, they have a specialized security plant complex that actually manufactures physical currency. They even have this clean notes policy where they actively collect worn-out banknotes and replace them with crisp, clean new ones. And get this, they maintain an official reward system for information that leads to the arrest of counterfeiters. It's honestly a massive, multifaceted operation.
It really is. So bringing it all back home to the central playbook we've been talking about. Number 1, maintain currency and price stability. Number 2, safeguard those banks. And number 3, ensure smooth payments. Whether it's the Bank of Japan, the Reserve Bank of Australia, or our very own BSP in the Philippines, all central banks are basically playing this exact same crucial game to keep modern society functioning.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating scenario for you to chew on. Imagine a severe global fuel crisis hits, right? Causing transport and food prices here to just surge completely out of control. At the exact same time, panicking citizens rush to their local banks to withdraw all their cash at once. So, how should a central bank balance its role as the lender of last resort to save those panicking banks without injecting so much extra cash into the economy that it actually makes the inflation crisis even worse? It's a massive, massive puzzle. Well, we really hope this explainer helped you understand the engine behind your money. And a huge final shout out to Bia, Aldrich, Carlo, and Elise for diving into this topic with us today. Keep questioning how the world works, and we'll see you on the next explainer.